go out to the Arby's hotline right now and welcome in the fat white guy, friend of the program, former UConn defensive tackle. Rob Lunn gives us a few minutes on the program. You can read his blog, thefatwhiteguy.com, also nesson.com/Deadspin. Rob, it's Jason Page. How are you?
Hey, Jason, how you doing? I'm actually in a Walmart. I'm in a Christmas shopping hell right now.
Oh God! Why would you do that?
You can ask my girlfriend, but I don't want to pick that fight.
All right, that's fine. Well, you know what? You're still a big guy. You can just push people out of the way, throw them over counters, things like that.
Yeah, but I definitely don't command the respect I did at 290. Everyone just kind of looks at me like, "Who the hell are you?" It's no good anymore. I'm sorry, but thanks for having me on the show, guys. Appreciate it.
All right. Real quick here, I got a few minutes with you. You've been around Randy Edsall enough. The constant comment of, I'm not going to talk about it, I'm not going to address it. Are we right to assume that means he is flirtatious, or that he does want to flirt with these other gigs?
You know, having known Coach Edsall for as long as I've known him, and as intimately, that's how you describe it, as I have known him. I mean, look at every year such a coaching position on a national level has been available, and his name has popped up, whether it was, Syracuse, Georgia Tech, Kansas, you name it, it always comes up, and eventually he dismisses the rumors. And, having spoken with a couple of guys on the team, the word around the locker room is that this is all just purely speculation. And I think that he's the kind of guy that says, hey, I'm not going to talk and I'm not going to address it, because it does two things for him. One is it continues the speculation and keeps UConn's and national exposure in the recruiting game is always great. But the other thing it does is it sets a precedent as far as from coach's point of view, which is, I'm going to talk football, I'm going to talk shop, and I'm not going to get into the personal or the bureaucracy of college football. And if you look at his trend with the media, rarely ever does he ever address anything that's gossip or rumor or anything sensational. He wants to talk shop, he wants to talk players, and that's it.
As somebody such as yourself that, 5 years or so ago was a recruit, and somebody that, Randy Edsall and people from his program came to you and said, hey, we want you to come play for us. If you're a recruit right now, Randy Edsall's coming into your home, how do you maneuver around that if you're Randy, and if you're the recruit, don't you want a hard, firm answer that he's going to be there?
Well, first things first. The recruits that are coming into UConn today are not like me coming out of high school. I wouldn't even get a shot at today's program. And as far as them coming into my living room, what are recruits thinking? I think that that question is asked by every recruit. Is, what happens if the coach going to leave? And the answer from recruiters or promoters or whoever your recruiting coach is, Coach is here to stay. And if you look at Coach Edsall, he's got a family that's invested in Connecticut. And I think that's probably what they're going around telling recruits is, listen, he's got a daughter that's at the school. He's got a son that's coming up to the ranks in Glastonbury. And he's got roots down there. And it would take a lot to uproot his family. Look, he's been at the program for 10, 11 years now. It's something that recruits want to hear, but when it comes down to it, you think about it logically, any coach at any school is subject to change, maybe with the exception of Penn State, but even look at Florida State right now, I'm sure that some of the recruits went there thinking, man, Bobby Bowden, I want to have the same coach for all 5 years, and now he's gone. It's a risk that you take when you decide to honor the privilege of playing college football. And but if I was, which I've been telling the guys that I'm recruiting to come to UConn, listen, he's been here for 11 years, and coaching positions have come and gone at Randy Edsall State. And I think that's what they're hearing right now.
How do you think he's handled it, from the outside and guys you've talked to? Obviously, everything that's happened there with Jasper Howard and the close losses. It's just been an amazingly difficult year for this UConn program. Your thoughts on how Randy Edsall's dealt with all that?
I've said it before, and I will definitely say it again. Coach Edsall really showed his true colors when all this happened with Jazz, and showed that he's not only a competent coach, but he's a guiding light and a rock for the program, and he became for the school and the state of Connecticut, and the college football nation. That's really kind of what happened, and it's been a tough season. You lose all those games by 6 games by less than 15 points. Obviously, it's heartbreaking, but I think that you should dwell less on the fact that they lost those games and more on the fact that they didn't quit. They've won their last 2. They're going bowling down in Birmingham. What does it say about a coach that was able to motivate his players after so many close losses and such an awful tragedy, this season. What does that say about Coach Edsall as a person? It says that, in my opinion, and I think that, the national media finally recognized that he is among, a handful of elite coaches in the country. I put him up there, in my opinion, with Joe Paterno, with Pete Carroll, with the best coaches in the country.
I think he actually, and you might agree with this, I think he's got a better chance at going to a BCS bowl game with UConn next year than he would with Notre Dame.
Absolutely. You're not going to hear. I've been saying it. Anyone that'll listen for the past 5 or 6 years, and that's that. UConn is still room to grow. You go into the coaching position in Notre Dame is nothing easy. I mean, it just isn't. Boosters and alumni expect you to win within your first 2 years, and the talent level that's coming out of UConn, what he's doing is better recruits, but not only that, he's pulling the most out of his recruits. For Notre Dame to have the season that they've had, it's absolutely, for lack of a better word, unacceptable, considering that every year they can recruit based on tradition and history, and they're going to have a top 25 recruiting class. UConn's recruiting classes have always been ranked in the bottom third or bottom 2/3, and yet we're going to our third straight bowl game. I mean, it's just. I would agree with you. Coach Edsall has a better shot in the Big East Conference, especially with the parity that's in the Big East every year. Year after year, going to a BCS than Notre Dame does. And I'm going to put my money on it right now. I'm going to say UConn is going to have a better record than Notre Dame next year.
All right,
absolutely,
look.
Hands down.
All right, I like that. I got about 20 seconds left here. You're going to be putting us all out of the business of media here. How's everything going with you?
Everything's going great with me. You guys can catch my blogs on Nesson or thefatwhiteguy.com, and we're going to be doing something with GQ.com this coming bowl season for college football. So you guys can tune into that. I'll be promoting it, and hopefully I'll be getting a radio gig soon enough. So
I like to hear that. Well, I'll tell you what, you got an open invite anytime you want to come down here and do the show with me. You're more than welcome, my friend.
Absolutely. Thank you, guys. Appreciate you having me on.
You got it. Rob Lunn,